Dr. Michael Abrahams here. Dr. Michael Abrahams slams salary increase. This is an article from May 20, 2023. And oh yes, so do I. The fact is, these politicians, they set up themselves really well. While other public sector workers have received an increase that hardly made any difference between their previous salary and their new salary, just a few percent, right? And still not on a livable wage. These politicians, they have given themselves, in some cases, more than 100 and 200% increase. Let me look at the article. Social commentator Dr. Michael Abrahams has labeled as unconscionable, arrogant, and insensitive the massive salary increase given to members of the political directorate as part of the government's compensation review for the public sector. He's correct, in my mind. It really is unconscionable, arrogant, and insensitive, right? I mean, there's no way to justify it. And the fact is, they don't deserve it, right? They don't deserve it. And the people generally, the people of Jamaica in general, are also of the opinion that these politicians have not done anything to deserve the kind of salary that they're getting and the kind of increase that they're giving themselves. Let me continue. While noting that he believes legislators and other members of the political class deserve a raise in pay, Abraham said he is offended by the exorbitant level of increases, particularly against the background of contentious wage negotiations with public sector groups. The quotes here. All of them deserve a raise, I have no problem with that, but the amount by which their salaries were increased and the timing of it, coming after the teachers were literally begging for something that made sense. It's unconscionable, it's arrogant, it's insensitive. We can't accept that. End of quote. Abrahams told Observer Online, adding, I know too many nurses and teachers and police struggling. He was among the protesters demonstrating against the salary increases outside Emancipation Park in New Kingston on Friday. So I notice in these days, nowadays, protest against the government and against wages and work conditions have become increasingly common. What's the PNP doing about this? How are they setting up themselves for the next election? Well, they're causing their councillors to resign and become independent and setting fires to constituency office. And by the way, talking about setting fires to constituency office, the constituency office of Dr. Alfred Dawes that they had set fire to. Who set that fire? How much was that person paid to set that fire? I can bet you that if you go on the road now and see that person who had set that fire, you would be there poor, probably begging something from you, begging something from the politicians. I mean, what could it be that causes people to become so fool? Where did many of these people don't have any sense? Many of these people fighting over politicians are far worse off than the politicians, and they don't even look at this example of politicians paying themselves handsomely and giving themselves massive increase They don't step back and say, but why am I doing these such nonsense for the politicians for? That person had put him or herself in danger from imprisonment, in danger from persons who are willing to defend their constituency office. Right? What if that person was caught in the act? What would happen? Right? That little money that they paid, and probably they don't even pay that person, Maybe them just fool and want to get in their feelings and want to burn down the constituency office for no reason. But they are so poor and bashing each other physically, burning out each other's buildings for these wealthy politicians. I mean, certain things just don't make any sense at all. But, oh my gosh. Let's continue. This doesn't mean the opposition are our saviors because they are sitting down and taking it. Oh yes. I don't hear the opposition saying, no, we're not going to take all of that. The system is just corrupt. We are in a bad way, Abraham said. Golding, that's Mark Golding, had pledged to give back 80% of the more than $17 million increase in his annual salary come April 1 next year. That would be April 1, 2024. Abrahams, meanwhile, also took aim at the salary for Governor General Sir Patrick Allen, who is set to receive, oh my gosh, $34 million a year after an almost 200% increase. You see how well these people are taking care of each other and themselves. Right? Now, $34 million per year increase. Let me divide 34 by 12 and see something here. $2.8 million a month for doing what? What is he contributing to the economy of Jamaica? What is he doing? Oh my gosh. $34 million for what? The article says. To wear medal and go coronation and have ackee tree? Really? Seriously though? Abraham said. The system is really corrupt. And those who are going around setting fires and intimidating others, they are so poor. They can't hardly afford. They themselves don't even have a house. Right? While the politicians have houses, but the politicians can cause them to fight against each other. While these politicians, they enjoy their wealth and they eat and drink together, PNP and JLP, enjoying life and living it up. While these lunatics go around fighting each other, poor, fighting each other over politics. My gosh. We continue. Quote here. For them to have the conscience to address us and say, you know what is true, that was a bit too much. We hear the cry of the people and we are going to take it down a bit, he said. Well, we haven't heard that and we're not going to hear it. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark earlier this week in Parliament announced the increases of more than 200% in some cases for politicians and other members of the political directorate, including mayors and councillors. The adjustment will see the Prime Minister's salary going from 9.169 million as of 2021 to 22. That's more than 200% increase. Well, let me see. 100% increase will take it to 18. That's well over 100% increase. Right? To over 22 million with effect April 1, 2022. And then to over 25 million effective April 2023. And don't finish yet, wait for it, $28.6 million as of April 1, 2024. My gosh. Whoa. Unconscionable. What? I mean, and they just tell me something. Are there anybody working with these politicians who have some sense of emotional intelligence? Are there anybody who has a duty to look at the situation and say, no, if you do this, the people are going to protest, they won't like it? There seems to be nobody there, because these politicians with their, as we would say, feistiness and out of orderness, the arrogance, just do what they want. You're telling me that they just did these things and they did not foresee, nobody could predict the reaction and say the people are going to rise up? Huh? Right. Many times the roads in constituencies get worse and worse and worse and worse, and the only time you hear anything from the MPs after the people block the roads and protest. Couldn't they have seen beforehand that the people were getting angry, would get angry and angrier, and then eventually block the road one morning? Didn't they have that emotional intelligence, that humanity, to come and to look and say, the people must be getting angry. Let me go and address them and soothe their anger and try to promise them something. Not even that they don't do. Oh my gosh. These people, I'm telling you. And the system and how it is set up. Well, that's another thing. Put your comments in the comment section. Let me see what you have to say about this. I will see you later.